this is not an option. This is a crackpot idea advanced by a crackpot in Congress. And, one of the things that has been exposed by this situation is how many crackpots there are in the Republican Party, including in the Republican Party in Congress.
I've supported this president going into the re-elect, worked as hard as anybody in the state and in the country to help him. I've supported the legal efforts they're doing. But also, at the end of the day, Shannon, I have to follow the laws and the Constitution of this state, and that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'll continue to do.
He does not have the power to do that. But, it is a bottomless pit of nuttery that the Republican Party or individual members of the Republican Party are going to pursue.
Okay, welcome to the War Room, the bottom of the bottomless pit of nuttery. By the way, I just want to call out Governor Kemp. No, you didn't work. You haven't followed the Constitution. You're a complete, total disaster. We're going to start. We got so much action happening today. We're going to go from Pennsylvania to Arizona, back to Georgia. Massive hearing with the Judiciary Committee to kind of give some substrate, start to lay the foundation for January 6th. We're laying the foundation today. A live hearing that's already started in Georgia with the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator Ligon, and he is Rudy Giuliani is going to testify. He's going to bring up John Lott. We broke the news of John Lott's report. He's now a DOJ, Department of Justice official. John Lott, who wrote the War on Guns. Right, but your favorite one is more guns, less crime.
More guns, less crime.
More guns, less crime. Their heads are blown. The guy's Yale, Chicago, Stanford. He's the best of the best. And this guy is an econometrics guy, John Lott, that comes at it with the numbers. He shows that it's zero probability, Jack and Raheem, this could have happened in Fulton County in Atlanta without a hand on the scale. So Kemp, you're a clown. And the total recall movement in Arizona, we're going to go out there. Total recall, it's called now. I love that. Total recall of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. And Kemp, get ready because you're going to get recalled too, Jack.
No, I was saying a late apology to my family. I think around 2000, I gave a copy of More Guns, Less Crime to about half a dozen of my family members who needed some educating. So apologize for that, people.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry. We've got... So we're going to be all over the country today talking about activists. This is because this is the most powerful show in all media, and the reason is people listen to what we're talking about. They talk amongst themselves, and they have action. It is the 30th of January, the year of our Lord 2020. 1 year ago today, Jack Maxey gave me a heads up on during Raheem was boring us to tears on his Boxing Day special. We're sitting listening.
You did just say January, by the way, and I was gonna let it go.
December.
Wow. Gonna let it go.
December.
Then you decided to heckle me.
No. 30 December, the year of our Lord 2020. The Peter Navarro memos. So no, but it was a year ago. Jack Maxey, first guy on it, watching the blog sites over in China, to say that there was some issue, SARS related, coming out on these blog sites. And then on 30 December, this is the 1 year anniversary of Dr. Li, the great hero of Wuhan, the young physician who actually came in a chat room with his other graduates, the other guys that graduated, men and women that graduated from medical school with him, to say, hey, we have a major SARS outbreak here. Dr. Li Meng Yan from the University of Hong Kong, now a defector that brought the truth to the West, including about all these new viruses that are popping up. She called us. She's going to join us in the second hour. We're going to go to the first year anniversary of really this becoming kind of quasi-public in China, where the Chinese Communist Party couldn't suppress it anymore. So action-packed today, going to go around. There's a total recall movement in Arizona. We started talking to Fincham on the show yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, they had under 500 people, I think, signed up. They're telling me today 21,000. And we're going to get to the people that founded it. John Fredericks is going to come in and tell us what's going on in Georgia. Rudy's about to drop the hammer at this hearing. So there's action, action, action. Mike Pence tweeted out a little while ago, he's not going to Israel after the 6th. And the reason is he's going to be getting ready to take the second inauguration of Donald Trump, right? So no need to go to Israel. Got plenty of time to go to Israel after the inauguration on the 20th. And if you think we're mad as hatters, you couldn't be more wrong, right? We're fighting this for the simple reason that Trump won a massive victory, and we're going to close on that victory. And you can see right now what they can't hide from. We're trying to get hooked up. We're going to go live to a bus that's traveling from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Do we have it? Frank Scavo, and do we have Frank Scavo? Okay, Frank. Frank is. We have Frank on the phone. Oh, hey, Frank, how you doing, brother?
Morning, Steve. Morning, Steve. We are rolling thunder here.
So here's what I like. I give a talk yesterday because I do this all the time. I give talks to groups, and if you want to talk, just hit Jack in the live chat or come to #Warren, get part of the team on it. But I'd love to give talks to patriots. Obviously, Northeast Pennsylvania is very close to my heart. Not only did Ernie Preate, who's one of the great patriots in this country, the old Marine who was on our Christmas Eve show, but Alexandra Preate, our comms director, she is hardwired into Northeast Pennsylvania, which is the center, really, kind of this populist movement. That's where Biden had to go fake it up there. So I gave a talk yesterday. I don't know. They got 300 or 400 patriots, including, I think, 100 or 150 Asian Americans, Korean Americans, Chinese Americans there throwing down for Trump. I'm firing them up. Hey, this thing's got to go. Next thing I know, they're saying, hey, we're going mobile. We're getting on the road, and we're going down to Cutler. We're going to start going to offices, and if we have to, we're going to go to homes, and we're going to let them know what we think about them. So, Frank, you're the Pennsylvania, I think the Voter Integrity Project, it's called now. Walk us through. What are you doing, and why are citizens, and these are hardworking men and women that are taking the day off, not getting paid, paying for their own bus. This is not AstroTurf. Right. Tell us what's going on.
See, we're letting this play out. Like, we are influencing the process, and the process was, look, we voted, and we don't believe the votes were counted lawfully, especially here in the cradle of liberty, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvanians have a special obligation to make sure that our elections are correct, and we do elect President Trump honestly, equally, and fairly. So after your speech yesterday, which you fired everybody up in your short dissertation, we called he's the state speaker of the House, Brian Cutler, and requested a meeting with him today, urgent, today or tomorrow. And we also did the same call with Senate Leader Jake Corman, he's a Senate pro tem, and we requested meetings with these people. And, about 2 o'clock, the people that were there said, Frank, what are we going to do? I said, let's roll. Let's put a bus together. Let's get 75 to 100 patriots. Let's go down there. And, Steve, it's pressure and light, like you said on your show, where we name the names and we give the phone numbers and we call and voice our God-given right to oppose or have an opinion. Then these elected representatives are responsive to the people. Because right now, Pennsylvania, put it this way, I ran for the state Senate. If I was there, I would be spearheading and charging like Doug Mastriano to get my fellow senators and state reps to say, look, there's too much discrepancy in this election. We have to have hearings like in Harrisburg and in wherever else they have them to make sure that this is done correctly. And with Catherine Buchbach, who commingled the 300,000 votes in Philadelphia, she should be held in contempt of the legislature, Steve. So we're going today, and our first stop is going to be Senate Leader Jake Corman, and that's on 31 West 3rd Street in Lewistown. That's his district office in Lewistown. Meet us there. We're going to be rolling in, and we're going to say, look, Jake, you're the Senate leader here. You've got to take the lead. That's your position. And figure this out. And then we're going to roll right after that over to Brian Cutler. He's the Speaker of the House, 33 Friend in Quarryville. We should be getting there about, I'd say about 2 o'clock, 2:30. And we're going to put some pressure on these guys to say, people in your district, this is the issue they care about, and they want you to act upon it, Steve. So as a result of your call yesterday, we are rolling thunder. We're going to attract more people as we go. It's up on Facebook, Parler, all the other social media, Twitter. Like, people, meet us there. Get there, because this is it. January 6th. We also have buses rolling January 6th from Biden's hometown, Scranton. And let me tell you, we are not happy. Scranton does not love Joe Biden, Steve.
Okay, hang on for a second. I just want to go back to this. Give us the addresses. I want to, hey, for YouTube and for Twitter and for all the, for Madeline Peltz and the Media Matters, these are the public local district offices that every citizen could go and petition their grievances, right? And that's what these citizens are doing. They're fulfilling their duty and their responsibility as citizens. They're taking the day off. these are not wealthy people. These are deplorables, right? The beauty of it, right to the sound of the guns, they got jacked up. And here's what I told them yesterday. I said, hey, this is a state that negotiated and signed the Declaration of Independence, and all were accused of treason by the king are all going to be hung. You had Valley Forge. You had Gettysburg. Not only that, on our Christmas show, Jack, you remember that the launching point for the victory on Christmas of 1776 was, guess where? Pennsylvania. They had to cross the Delaware River. Outside of my beloved my beloved home state of the Commonwealth of Virginia, there's more history in Pennsylvania than anything. And these people come from that Commonwealth. They fired up the Asian Americans as hard as the people who have been here for 10 generations, saying we have to do this for the country. This is beyond President Trump, and President Trump understands that. This is now for this republic. This is now for this country. I want to give that address again, so everybody in the audience that's local.
Sure.
Remember, you lit up that senator last week from Pennsylvania. Got his mind right.
Right.
Frank, give us the locations again.
All right, Senate Leader Jake Corman, 31 West 3rd Street in Lewistown, Pennsylvania. And then Brian Cutler should be there by, like I said, about 2 or 3 o'clock. Brian Cutler, Speaker of the House, 33 Friendly Drive, Quarryville. Now, I also have their phone number, Steve. So listen, people, it's time. January 6th, it's here. If you're going to do anything, you need to do it now. As Steve Bannon told us yesterday, that's why we're rolling today. But give Jake Corman a call. His number is 81. Let's see. Just hang on one second. Here. I'm gonna get you that number.
To get the Senate leader's number will take as much time as you want.
Yep. Jake Corman is 717.
Yep.
242.
Yep.
2410.
Okay, that's 717-242-2410. That is for the President
Correct.
Pro Tem. Okay, Jake Corman. And then Cutler's?
Cutler's is 717.
Yep.
284.
Yep.
1965.
Now, these are not their cell numbers. These are their office numbers, right? I want everybody to call their office numbers.
This is the office number.
Perfect. And I want everybody in the audience.
You're probably going to get.
Yeah, I want everybody. I tell you what, Frank, we're going to be jammed for time, but I would love for you to just hang on, and we want to come back to you in the bus. Rolling Thunder is rolling from Scranton, right from Northeast Pennsylvania, the heart of the hardcore Trump nationalist populist movement. They have been inspired for the simple reason that they understand what their duty is, their responsibility, and they're going to go down, and they want people to address their grievances. And the grievances are, hey, this thing in Pennsylvania is of all of them, Pennsylvania is the worst. I think Georgia, we're closest to flipping. I think Arizona is next, maybe Wisconsin. But in Pennsylvania, this has to be addressed. Short commercial break. Raheem, Jack, Steve. And, of course, the buses rolling down from Scranton to their destination with the leaders of the House and Senate in Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. Will return in a moment, and also going to Arizona and Georgia. All next. We're in pandemic.
It's all started, everything's begun, and you are over, 'cause we're taking down the CCP, spread the word all through Hong Kong, we will fight till they're all gone, we rejoice when there's no more, let's take down the CCP, they have all...
Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room. Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
There's live testimony in Georgia right now, the Senate Judiciary Committee. We're going to get to Rudy later in the show, but there's great testimony. They're talking about John Lott. John Lott, the econometrics expert over the Department of Justice, the author of War on Guns. He's one of the most powerful analytical minds in our nation from Yale and University of Chicago. And he's written this report about, and it focuses on, guess what? Hello, Pennsylvania and Fulton County, Georgia. That would be Atlanta, where he says it's a mathematical impossibility for it to happen what happened, or at least what was presented. So we're going through the receipts today. And by the way, later in the show, We're taking a whole special segment. Raheem Kassam is going to walk through his analysis of why the compelling evidence is there, and then Jack Maxey is going to have his shot to walk through. You want to watch that. Love the people out there. Kemp is just a stone-cold, bald-faced liar. He's a liar. He's going to get recalled if he doesn't step up to the plate here and do his duty as governor. I love the meme already. You got the dog. One of our audience, the dog's like rolling his eyes when Kemp's sitting there lying on Martha McCallum. They're so brazen. They're going to look you in the eye like you're a moron. Remember, one of the things I love about the deplorables, they're so smart, they get it. And this whole thing about guys being able to lie to them anymore, it's over. I was on John Fredericks. He's going to lane show. I was on Fredericks the other day, taking calls from the audience better than anything I hear in D.C. Just the first two callers. Okay, we got buses rolling in Pennsylvania. We got a total recall movement happening in Arizona. Let's go back to Frank Scavo. So, Frank, just when you're there in front of these offices of the head of the Senate and head of the House, who cowardly, gutlessly let everybody go and hid out over Christmas, they do come back next week. What is to redress your grievances as people from the Commonwealth? What's your pitch to them? What do you tell them? What actions are you, the action-oriented deplorables, looking for?
Well, we sent two sets of electors where they sent the Democrat side, Republican side. We want special sessions. We want impeachment against the judges, that the Supreme Court judges of Pennsylvania that flaunt the law in our face. We're not going to stand for that. We want recalls. Steve, we want the whole gamut. We're not, put it this way, you're either with us or against us. The lines are drawn, the people have been identified, and if Lee Iacocca said, lead follower, get out of the way. These people have to, Steve, we pay them. They're paid to represent us, and we are unhappy here, Steve. We want this to be the shot heard world around the world in Pennsylvania. We are moving on this, and we're not going to settle for their inaction, which is being kind, Steve, and being very kind and calling it inaction. It's borderline treason by just letting this die.
Frank, how do people to you? Can you give us your phone number? People want to contact you. We've got the contact information. This bus is handed, and later in the show, we're going to re-emphasize where they can meet you guys. How can people get access? Do you have a Twitter handle? Do you have a Facebook page? Where should they go?
I'm on Facebook. In Facebook, it's simply Frank Scavo. You'll know when you see it because it's just purely conservative Facebook page. And my cell phone number. You're welcome to call me. It's listed 570-904-1230. So let's get this rolling. Steve, I'm here like you, fighting in the trenches, deplorable, but it's going to be the rule of law, Steve, or it's going to be all hell breaks loose. And just one final word: the Japanese and the South Koreans and the Europeans that are here with us, they know China's about to overtake their countries, their economy. They're filling it with Chinese to populate it and take.
We just lost Frank Scavo. We'll get back to. Do we still have him?
China.
Okay, thanks. Frank, we're losing you. We got a punch. Frank Scavo. And by the way, they had a third of the audience were Asian Americans, people that come here from these other countries that understand the CCP. And, of course, nobody understands the CCP better than Lyle Beijing, the diaspora, the Chinese that have left China and to fight this. And these people understand how quickly you can lose your freedom. This is why I'm so proud of Frank Scavo and the guys. Anybody in the central Pennsylvania area that can make it down there today, we'll put the addresses up later. But go to the Facebook page of Frank Scavo. And I got to tell you, yesterday, my boy here, Jack Maxey, lighting him up about Lexington. I said it's April morning. It's an April morning in December right now because this is the green. This is the common at Lexington, right?
And I gotta love Frank. He said, "You're either with us or against us. You're on that bus or you're under it."
So hashtag War and Pandemic, the live stream. And of course, the bad hombres at the Breakfast Club over at the Donald.win. This morning they're having bourbon and nails. Is that the Breakfast of Champions over there?
It better be because it's dry January soon. So you got to
get
it in quickly.
I don't know if it's ever dry January for that crowd. That's a little. They're a living rough edge. Okay, we're going to continue this. We're going to the total recall movement. This is the power of this audience. We had our guy yesterday, Mark Fincham, the representative from Southern Arizona, on here talking about. We had Liz Harris talking about what our next guest, Lyle Rapacki, a former law enforcement police officer in Arizona, now an intelligence service and a security service, but they put together the total recall movement to recall all of the Republican members of the Board of Supervisors in Maricopa County for the simple reason is they negotiated a deal to turn over the Dominion systems and do a forensic audit and then welched on it. So, hey, the citizens gave them a second chance, and this came from, by the way, the Senate Judiciary Committee in Arizona. These are representatives who are not Trump fanatics working this through, and they gave them the middle finger. So on the show yesterday, I think there were 1,000 people that had signed up or gone to the page. I think there's 21 or 22,000 this morning. That is because this audience amplifies. This is a platform and amplify, and people are afraid of you. You know why? They don't like getting the nasty phone calls. They don't like being exposed. That's what's happening in Pennsylvania right now. It's full exposure. Lyle Rapacki joins us now from Arizona. He's actually heading down to the rally. Lyle, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you all very much for allowing me. Your previous guests really spoke the words that are being resonated across the nation. Lead, follow, or get out of the way.
So how are you going to, if they're clearly not leading, right, and they're not even following, they're blocking, and now citizens are taking it their constitutional responsibility to do it. How are you going to get them out of the way? What is Lyle Rapacki and Liz Harris and Mark Fincham, what are you guys going to do about it?
Well, thanks again for this. It was my privilege to act as the liaison between the joint legislative panel that Representative Fincham chaired and the Giuliani team that came into Arizona about 5 weeks ago. Since that time, it's been my privilege to work with the Giuliani team, and through that means we met privately with Senate and House leaders, as also we met with Maricopa County supervisors, and we gave them information as well as testimony as well as evidence. We did all. We gave them information. We gave them various forms of affidavits and other pieces of evidence, and then we gave them some forensic, not complete, but some, enough probable cause to say, look, guys, there's something seriously wrong here, and what we would like is to make a full presentation to you. They agreed. And then what happened is the Senate Committee on the Judiciary met and presented even additional evidence, not opinions, but evidence. And the Maricopa County supervisors and the Maricopa County attorney listened, and at the conclusion of that day, they said there was probable cause to go ahead and accept the subpoena from the Senate Judiciary Committee and allow a full forensic of both ballots and the machines. They reneged on that. They lied, and then they have done everything they can to double down in their lie. What has come out of that is a reservoir of anger by citizens across the state of Arizona. It's been coordinated to be just Maricopa County at this time, but I'm going to tell you there's three other counties in Arizona that are also facing this type of a recall.
Lyle, let me just ask you, what is, look, you spent your life in law enforcement. When you say probable cause, what is, I think what stunned people around the country, whether it's in Ware County, Georgia, or Antrim County up in Michigan, or what's happening in Maricopa County, what are these elected officials that salaries are paid for by hardworking taxpayers? Why are they protecting? And look, I'm not a Dominion systems guy. That's the magic formula. I'm saying, hey, you got enough vertical in the illegal voting. You got enough in the mail-in ballots. That's the third option. A free option right now may take a lot longer. But what stunned me is elected officials thwarting any type of investigation on this system or on a forensic audit. You've spent a career in law enforcement. In 30 seconds, I want to hold you over for the next thing. In 30 seconds, tell us, what do you think they're hiding?
I think they're more afraid of the people that financially back them than the people that elect them.
So you think that they're going to take the side? That's why they keep putting up this intellectual property argument. Oh, we got to protect the intellectual property of our vendor versus the wrath, the righteous indignation of the electorate. That's your opinion?
My opinion is that they don't want the doors to be open, because once you find these doors open, you're going to find a whole host of fraud and other illegalities, and they're very, very concerned about that. They're concerned about maintaining the establishment's quo instead of the rights of the citizens.
Lyle, if you could still hang over, we're going to take a short commercial break, sell some ads here to pay for this, and we want to return to Arizona and Lyle Rapacki. He is the one of the organizers of the Total Recall. I love that. Total Recall movement out in Maricopa County. They're saying, hey, you negotiated this subpoena. This is, and for all of CNN and the New York Times and MSNBC and the paper out in Phoenix, right, the Phoenix Republic, I think it is, the Arizona Republic, to say this is baseless and no evidence, hey, au contraire, right? That's why people are dodging subpoenas. That's where they're going to the mattresses. Lyle Rapacki on the road down to Phoenix. We'll return to Arizona, the desert out in Arizona. We return in just a moment.
Spread the word all through Hong Kong. We will fight till they're all gone. We rejoice when there's no more. Let's take down the CCP. They have all lied for too long.
Hey, John. John. Yo, John. I'm going to finish with Lyle Rapacki in Arizona and come right to you, okay? First thing I want to do is any update you've had from the hearing so far, and then I want to pull the camera back and talk about the importance of it, okay? And anything else you want to do. People are on fire. We got buses rolling to Pennsylvania. We got guys going all over the state down to Maricopa today for a big rally. Folks are fired up.
Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room. Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
We highlighted Governor Kemp's lying with a straight face to Martha McCallum last night over at Fox, and already the posse at the in the War Room is on that with a great meme with the dog. But he followed that up with telling us what.
Well, you know, the live stream, we were talking about how you can actually lose your country, and this is what's at stake here. And we have many viewers from around the world, and Maria Vadia said, I am a Cuban. I understand how we can lose a nation. That's what's at stake.
That's what's at stake. What did Reagan's, we used to take it, it ended one of the films, my Reagan film, it ended with saying that in one generation you lose it, and nobody took that seriously. You can see in one generation you can lose it. And great thinkers like, and men of state like Ronald Reagan knew it, the founders knew it. They saw the French Revolution. Hey, they saw the American Revolution, right? That thing was touch and go all the way to the end. Okay, talking about revolutions. Let's go. They're coming from all over. It's a gathering of the tribes. They're coming from all over Arizona today. That's a figure of speech, by the way. Coming from all of Maryland, Madeline Peltz. Lynn Rapacki is one of the leaders of this total recall movement, because the citizens have finally had a belly full of it, and they're going to go down and confront today the supervisors in Maricopa County. So just one thing, what outcome do you hope comes out of what you're going to do today down in Phoenix?
Well, I think one of the things that's going to happen is the elected officials in Arizona are going to be very surprised at the grassroots support. It's not just in Maricopa County, but across the state. And I will also tell you that other states have rallied to support Arizona. And so not only by physical presence, but financially and otherwise, they're saying, let's get this done. And I think elected officials everywhere should be on notice that you took an oath to preserve and defend the Constitution of the state and the country, and also to represent the citizens. And many, many, many of them are no longer doing that. They're taking care of their own personal interests and moving up in their own political ranks, and they forget the people that elected them. So I think there's going to be a tremendous surprise when they find out that we, the people, are really fed up. We've been patient, we've been kind, we pay the salaries like your previous guest said, we pay for the taxes, we pay for the office space, et cetera, and we're told to be quiet and not get in the way. Well, I think that day's over.
We're going to get in this whole concept of the taxpayers are basically the funding source of this, and now the guys that write the checks have had a belly full of it. Lyle, how can people get access to you? Twitter, Parler, Facebook. How can they find out more about the rally today? And any way they can find it, if they can't be there in person, is there any other way? We're gonna come back to you guys in our evening show. Is there any other way that you have a Facebook or any other way citizens around Arizona and citizens around the country and quite frankly the populist movement on a global basis, because this is why the show's so big. Right now we're talking to people in Australia, New Zealand, China, Hong Kong, Europe. How can people participate in the total recall movement this afternoon in Maricopa County?
Well, Stephen, thanks again. I'm in my car on my way down there, so what I will do is I'll send your producers exactly
Perfect.
what you're asking for. We do have the website, a phone number, and all the rest of the stuff where people can participate. I will tell you that several national conservative platforms will be covering it, like OAN, et cetera, et cetera. You guys are doing a phenomenal job and so appropriately named the War Room, because we're at war to preserve this nation. So thank you very much, Steve, for this time. Thank you for what you all are doing. You're not being theatrical. We're really at war to preserve this country. And I will send you that information shortly after I get off the car.
Okay, you keep both hands on the wheel. We need all patriots to be safe. Lyle, Rapacki, you're a great American.
You guys are great.
You're a great patriot, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks, y'all.
And I tell you what, some of the people most engaged in this are people from populists and nationalists from around the world. They understand what's at the rule of law, the Constitution, this republic that has had such a storied history is at stake here. And this is why you're seeing people now taking days off. They're not getting paid for this. They're losing income for this. This is dedication. And look, folks, we're at the top of the first inning in this movement. On New Year's Day, if we can pull it off, and I really want to thank the team at Real America's Voice. Given the COVID situation out in Colorado, it was just announced today, the new strain, Raheem, I think it's the UK strain. Dr. Jan warned us about.
Saying that as well. I heard it on ABC News this morning. Oh, the strain first found in the UK. This strain was found months and months. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jack, but this strain was found months ago. It's been in Brazil. It's been in the US. They've had this.
The highly contagious strain?
Yeah.
Let's remember one thing. It's not the UK strain. This is a mutated version of the Chinese communist virus that was unleashed around this world. We can never stop saying this. Every problem that we are witnessing right now, from the election, from the chaos in the economy, from people not being able to go to school, is all the result of the absolute irresponsibility and perhaps intention
malevolence
of the Chinese Communist Party. We cannot start going down these paths of, it's the Italian virus or the English virus. These are mutated versions of a Chinese communist virus unleashed upon the world.
Amen. Dr. Mi-Lin Yang is going to join us from Hong Kong University, now a defector here in the United States. He's going to join us in the next hour. By the way, programming note, the great Judge Louis Gohmert joins us at the top of the hour to talk about his lawsuit against the Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence, to get focus on what's going to happen on the 6th. You look very pensive there. Before we go to John Fredericks, Raheem Kassam.
And by the way, if Wuhan flu is racist, then UK strain should be treated with the same derision.
Wow.
And here's the other thing. Just this morning, more breaking news, that there are researchers trying to figure out the origins of the virus who had their samples confiscated by the Chinese Communist Party in recent days.
Yes.
So there's so much coming out about that now as well. Why would you be doing
You would have found this all out if you started listening to the show a year ago about. Okay.
I just started.
It's the 1 year anniversary of Dr. Li, the great hero of Wuhan, his going out to his people and saying, hey, there's a problem here, and the government's lying about it. Okay, let's go now to John Fredericks live. We're going to be breaking in as soon as Rudy. I think Rudy's going to be at the top of the hour right after we finish with Judge Gohmert. So there's action all over the country today of patriots actually riding to the sound of the guns and really taking action in their own hands. They're going down to have rallies in Maricopa County. They're going down to redress their grievances to the in Pennsylvania. This is just one after the other. John Fredericks, you've been so important about this in Georgia. You shifted the whole operation down there, and today this Senate hearing, where I think they're going to take a vote, and for the first time we're actually going to have a formal vote on rescinding, decertifying, and recalling the Biden electors, which is going to force the mainstream media to start to cover this. Is a lot of the work was John Fredericks. So, John, give us an update. What's going on down in Georgia?
Well, they are planning to have a vote on that, but it's just this committee, so it doesn't carry any kind of a quorum, but it's a start. But the evidence now, Steve, is just piling up. Data. Just like Steve Bannon says, action. Now it's data. It keeps piling up. So two things happened. One, yesterday, there were 2 counties in Georgia that wiped away 4,000 votes off of their voter roll, says that they were ineligible to vote in the January 5th election because, according to postal records, they no longer lived in those counties. There's about 4,000 votes. And they said, you can come and vote provisionally, and we'll check it out, but you can't be a counted vote. That got overturned by a judge. Now, the judge who overturned it happens to be Stacey Abrams' sister. Didn't recuse herself, didn't care. What the message is now is, this is so brazen. The Democrats are stealing votes, stealing elections. They found a system to do it. Nobody will stand up to them. The media doesn't care, and so they do what they want. There's no other explanation for Stacey Abrams' sister not to recuse herself in making this decision. But this is how in your face now the Democrats are, because Republicans refuse to do anything. Rapacki does nothing. Governor Kemp goes on TV, lies through his teeth. He's got to get recalled. Now, what's happening now is there's a Senate hearing. It's the same Senate subcommittee that had it a month ago. Their report got certified, but here's what came out today in just the first hour. It's unbelievable, okay? Number one, in Coffee County, that election official testified and said the Dominion voting machines, they took the ballots and they ran them through the Dominion voting machines 5 times. I'm going to put up my hand. 5 times. They got 5 different results. This is unbelievable. 5 different results. All of them, more votes for Biden than Trump, just different percentage of it. So it's not like human error. There was a mistake. These machines, they have got to get impounded, Steve and Rahima, Jack. They have to get looked at. Second thing that's come out of the first hour is that same executive of Coffee County was saying that she had talked to 7 of her counterparts, and a total of 8 counties told by Rapacki to certify the votes, even though those election officials said they didn't want to certify them because there were too many irregularities, there were too many things that didn't make sense, ballots that showed up from nowhere in the middle of the night, machines that didn't get accurate counts, and they were intimidated, she said, and made to certify them by Rapacki, and they were too afraid to come forward. So, I mean, the evidence now is just piling up one after the other. This is all going to get out. They're going to have a vote at the end today in this committee to decertify. That's going to carry because the majority of Republicans there think this whole election was fraud. Now there's going to be additional pressure again on the state Senate and the House to convene with 50% plus one.
But this is not, going. Listen, this is the way our system works. This is not a small thing. Things start at the state legislature. You have a Senate committee, the Judiciary Committee, I believe, with Lingen, who's a powerhouse, right? You've got this. They're actually having testimony, live testimony again, showing the receipts, once again, going through the process as you're supposed to. They're going to have a vote to decertify the Biden electors. Brian Stelter and all these guys. Raheem, you got to text me, bro. I'm not getting anything.
We have breaking news.
Just jump in. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Now. I'm very shy.
It's Stephen K. Bannon and John Fred. We're good. You're so Natalie attired with the. I feel like it's almost like you're going on an interview, and I don't mean on TV after the show.
Maybe I am. Maybe a better show has reached out. All right. So Senator Hawley has just tweeted a statement on objecting during the Electoral College certification process on January 6th, quote, following both the 2004 and 2016 elections, Democrats in Congress objected during the certification of electoral votes in order to raise concerns about election integrity. They were praised by Democratic leadership and the media when they did. They were entitled to do so, but now those of us concerned about the integrity of this election are entitled to do the same. I cannot vote to certify the Electoral College results on January the 6th without raising the fact that some states, particularly Pennsylvania failed to follow their own state election laws, and I cannot vote to certify without pointing out unprecedented effort of mega corporations, including Facebook and Twitter, to interfere in the election in support of Joe Biden. At the very least, Congress should investigate allegations of voter fraud and adopt measures to secure the integrity of our elections. Congress has so far failed to act. For these reasons, I will follow the same practice Democrat members of Congress have in years past and object during the certification process on January the 6th to raise these critical issues.
Hawley's in. Remember, Hawley's a fire-breathing populist from Missouri. So we're going to take a short commercial break. John Fredericks with breaking news down at this hearing with the Judiciary Committee of the State Senate of Georgia. Rudy Giuliani's up. We got Judge Louis Gohmert, the congressman from Texas, that's suing the vice president. All next. War and Pandemic.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
We're going to get back to John Fredericks in Georgia in a second. How big a deal, gentlemen, is Josh Hawley showing leadership, stepping up here when others are not, and partying with Tommy Tuberville to get this thing sorted in Congress next week? Raheem and then Jack.
Well, this is huge. I mean, the processes required means there has to be a congressman and a senator that file these objections, and it was always the senators that people were not sure of. Easy enough to find some, what do they call it, the nutty of the nutties in terms of the Republican caucus in the Congress, but it was the senators that often under Mitch McConnell have shown that they don't have the mettle. Josh Hawley is stepping forward into the breach here, saying, hey, listen, the Democrats have done this several times in recent history and were lauded for doing so within their own caucus and by the national media. Now Republicans have a duty to do it as well because of several factors, not least the fact that the laws as they were set in place before the election by the state legislatures, how they govern their own elections, were not adhered to.
Do you know, and by the way, to connect dots, we started the show with deplorables renting a bus on their own money and driving from Scranton down to see and to confront, to redress their grievances to the Speaker of the House and the head of the Senate that are the problem, or the railhead of the problem of these state legislatures cutting deals that are against the Constitution. Josh Hawley. Here's the other thing. Josh Hawley's as smart as you get in this town. I am intellectually incredibly arrogant, right? I don't like talking to morons. Josh Hawley is as smart as you've got in this town. He's at Ted Cruz level. He's both a Yale and a Stanford graduate. All of his stuff is tightly argued, right? Hawley is not, he's a fire-breathing populist that backs it up with high-powered intellect. People don't have to worry. When Hawley steps out, he's not a guy that's hair's on fire. He's like bang, bang, bang. This is important. Senator Cotton, Senator Rubio, Senator Cruz, Haggerty, no offense, you're a total creation of President Trump, right? You're on the transition team. He made you ambassador to Japan. He supported you against, quite frankly, more MAGA guys in those primaries supported you the whole way. Haggerty, we got to hear your voice today. You must stand for the Constitution. You must stand for the Republic, because guess what? We are taking names. So right now, Josh Hawley, I think a complete political heroism right here. A profile in courage is Josh Hawley. What say you, Jack Maxey?
Well, courage is infectious, and I hope that he's going to lead a whole army of brave senators. One of the things that we have to remember, particularly in this season, there was a controversy of whether or not we could lay wreaths on the veterans' graves. There are hundreds of thousands of those white stones representing American men and women who put the country's interests before their own selfish interests. To me, it is shameful to watch these people who pretend to be senators to sit in the world's greatest deliberative body and watch them hide behind their mother's skirts. This is embarrassing. It's not part of the American character. I want Josh Hawley to be the first of a multitude of brave patriots who find their spines.
We need this audience today, right now, wherever you are in the world, to get on whatever social media and give Josh Hawley a shout out. This is a profile in courage, right? This Mitch McConnell, remember, Mitch McConnell had the conference call with the conference last week, said, hey, this is a tough vote. We don't want to do this. So he's crossing Mitch McConnell in public, right? He's calling Mitch McConnell out and saying, hey, I heard what you got to say. Unfortunately, I took an oath to the Constitution, and here's what we're going to do. Here's why they don't want this next week. Let me tell you why they don't want it. This is why they don't want this hearing today. Remember, the mantra of the mainstream media has been baseless. There's no evidence. None of this, right? Now, this is a forcing function. It's a forcing function to put in front of the American people what the facts are. And they understand they have no counter to the facts here. They don't have any counter to the facts. They just say it's baseless. There's no evidence. This is a coup. This is crazy. What did John Harwood say? By the way, we invite John Harwood over to the war room. John, you're a smart guy. You're Duke grad, right? You're a smart guy. Come down. Come over to the war room. We'll have a cup of coffee with you, and we'll have the posse walk you through the evidence. You're a fact-based, evidence-based CNBC guy. About the financial markets, capital markets. We'll walk you through the details. Listen, look at the thing that happened in Gallup. They can't hide Biden anymore. There's nobody coming to the inauguration, so they got to say, hey, we can't have an inauguration. He's not talking in prime time anymore because he can't draw an audience. They can't hide that, so he's doing 3:45 before he takes a nap, right? But one of the reasons they say, well, it's the middle of the afternoon. But he did it again yesterday. That's a scam. Oh, look at the probability. It was the orders of magnitude that Trump crushed him. You're telling me a guy just got 84 million votes, only gets 6% of the American people say you're most admired? No, it doesn't work like that. That's why Obama got, 14 million votes less than him or 18 million votes less than him, is still the second most admired guy. Let's go back to John Fredericks. And John, I may have to hold you. I know you're busy and you got stuff going on, but people got to hear your voice. We got about a couple of minutes here. Give me a minute or so of what's happening in Georgia today. And Kemp comes on Martha McCallum last night and lies with a straight face. I've done everything. I've worked hard. Everything. What is your assessment of Kemp?
Tell me what you can do and stop telling me what you can't do. And Brian Kemp is lying to the people of Georgia, and he lied to America by saying you can't do anything. He had his lackey, Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, on a conference call with donors that were saying, look, we're concerned about Georgia. Why doesn't Kemp call a special session and end this thing? Oh, we can't do that. It's illegal. Doesn't have enough time. Can't get 3/5. They just make this stuff up. Jeff Duncan, Cosmo Man. I mean, this is the worst leadership of any state that Republicans have is in the state of Georgia right now. They're all going to go. I mean, somehow they think that deplorables are going to forget about all this, that they're too stupid to figure it out, and that 2022 will come and they'll be able to get suburban moms in soccer vans in Gwinnett County and get reelected, and they don't want to upset Stacey Abrams. I mean, these people are delusional. They all have to go. And look, deplorables aren't a cheap date, right? That's over, where you can just tell them what to do and they're going to forget and go back to work. They're tuned in, they're dialed in, they're motivated, they're fired up. I've talked to so many today on my show that are going to that rally Monday in Dalton. They got signs. They want to start a chant, recall Kemp, recall Kemp. This is an unbelievable
hang on.
movement,
If I can have
it's
you,
not going away.
John, if
and we're going to get action.
Just stay through the break because I want to talk about it. Total Recall has started in Arizona. The Total Recall movement has started about the supervisor of Maricopa County. Hey, I think it's coming to a state near you shortly. We're going to return with John Fredericks, our guy down in Georgia. When we return on War Room Pandemic, Raheem, Jack Maxey, Stephen K. Bannon will be back in a moment.